Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the Zero Excuses podcast. My name is Kenyon Zitska. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you tuning in for the first time, thanks for checking us out. This is the Wheelbook Wednesday edition of the show, where I share some random thoughts that I've had over the course of the past week, break them down for you into actionable strategies that you can implement immediately after listening to this podcast episode. What I wanted to cover with you guys today is how to give yourself a dose of reality, to give yourself a reality check. Oftentimes, we are so busy, so ingrained in what we're doing on a day to day basis that we fail to take a step back and really objectively evaluate where we stand in terms of reaching our goals or becoming the people that we need to become to reach our goals. We're actually really full of crap when it comes to this stuff. And what I mean by that is that we fool ourselves into thinking that either we're actually not doing as good as we think we are in some areas in our lives, while in others we're doing much better than we really give ourselves credit for. Now, before I jump into the basic process that I use to give myself a reality check, I wanted to go over a couple quick points that I want to make sure that you understand about this process. And the first is a reality check isn't an opportunity to beat yourself up. It's an objective look at where you stand, like I mentioned before, to gauge if your actions are effective in moving you towards your goals and objectives. It's not going to feel comfortable. It should cause anxiety. It should perhaps even make you feel pissed off about where you stand on certain things. If you're not moving towards your relationship goals or your financial goals, whatever goals you might have, that should cause anxiety naturally. Now, the key here is to become comfortable being uncomfortable and using that anxiety as fuel to drive you to new actions, to learn new skills, adopt new ways of thinking, whatever outcomes you decide to take on as a result of this reality check. You should use that anxiety as fuel to drive you towards new action. And the other point that I wanted to make here is that you have to adopt the mindset that shortcomings are awesome. They're actually opportunities for us to grow. Most people that are stuck in a rut or average, they actually shy away from or turn the blinders towards these shortcomings and pretend that they're not there. And the other part of this is if people offer you criticism, no matter how painful or negative it may come across, start thanking your critics. They're there to give you a little bit of a dose of reality. Some people might be full of crap. Some people might be hit the nail right on the head. But when people offer criticism, tell them thank you. All right, so let's dive into my reality check process. This is a simple 4-step basic process that I use on a regular basis. I don't schedule this per se, but it's something that if I notice myself not making the progress that I need to make towards a goal, I need to stop and do a reality check. And this is something you can stop and do just in your mind every now and again too. You don't have to sit down and write this out necessarily, but it's an effective tool that I've used over and over again, and I think you're going to find this valuable. So anyways, here's step one. Step one is you got to drop the ego. And I kind of hinted at this in the lead up to this, but the only person holding you back is you. And when you recognize that and own that, you're going to be able to develop the humility to accept these shortcomings and skills gaps and things that you need to do to become the person you need to become to reach your goals. There's a great book out there by Ryan Holiday. I encourage you to read it. Ego is the Enemy. I actually just got it for Christmas. My sister-in-law got it for me, and I'm right in the middle of reading it. So It's been pretty powerful to this point, and I highly recommend it. So step 2 is that we all know, quote unquote, know what we need to do to get us towards our goals. And the thing that separates us from where we are now to actually executing and doing those things are mental obstacles that are in our brain. And here's another Ryan Holiday book, Obstacle is the Way, another book you need to read. But that's what's keeping us from doing those things that we know we need to do. And the questions that we need to ask during this second step here are things like, what can we do right now to remove those obstacles? What skills do we need to obtain? What knowledge do we need? Do we need to connect with certain people? And are we actually tackling the right activities? Or are we just going after low-hanging fruit here? So those are some things you need to ask yourself during step 2 here. And then step 3, it kind of bleeds into these 2 steps here. But what do we need to eliminate? What do we need to remove from our life right now to move us towards our goals? And then the last step here is to summarize this and put a bow on this process by identifying 3 to 5 or however many tactics that are going to fall out of this process. You can get as elaborate or as simple as you need to, depending on how detailed you're getting with this process. But I would suggest that you limit it to 3 to 5 tactics that are going to fall out of this. For example, if you've identified that you need to obtain skills related to writing a book, perhaps, maybe one tactic that falls out of this is that you need to start listening to maybe podcasts or audio programs related to authoring a book. That's just one example. I'm sure you can think of many more. And then the last suggestion that I'm going to offer up to you guys on this process is that you also need to surround yourself with people who are going to give you honest and open feedback. And a couple different ways that I've been able to do that is by joining some Facebook groups. We've got one of them available to you over at facebook.com/groups/0excuses. I'm also in a number of men's mastermind groups, and I've created one of my own here, the Infinite Results Mastermind Group. You can check that out at kenyanzitska.com/results. And the last way that you can get some really detailed, honest, and open feedback is by hiring a coach. And I offer my own one-on-one discipline coaching program. You can apply for that at kenyanzitska.com/discipline. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review on iTunes, and also subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. All right, guys, have a great day. Talk to you later.